Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Dr. Jane Mountrose, and this is the Circle of Love and Light. I'm here with my wonderful partner and co-director of Awakenings Institute, Dr. Phillip Mountrose. This week, we're very excited, actually, with all the active energies of spring upon us. We're opening to the warmth and the light by embracing the blessings of the month of May. We often celebrate the different months of the year as we move into them or are about to move into them. So this is really exciting for us. We're going to provide some insights, and we're going to include an oracle reading and a special meditation to celebrate the season. We'll also invite in some of the beings of light who are always with us to support us and open to what might be possible for us today. It's interesting with May being a more activating kind of an energy. Who knows what might happen? Anyhow, as always, I first want to thank you for joining us and being emissaries of love and light for the world. It's so important. One of the best things I think we can do. So we're here every week at this time to light up our lives, to heal, to grow, and to stand up as beacons of love and light for the world. I also want to remind you, if you're here, please say hello. We appreciate also your comments. Would love to know where you're from if you're new. And here we go. One more thing before we go into our topic, we always start with just a few breaths to bring our energy together, bringing in the energy, the beautiful love and light from the universe, and exhaling any tension we might sense within ourselves or around us. Just bringing also ourselves more into our bodies and into the present moment with each breath. Just breathing in all that love and releasing anything you don't need at this time, which is often a lot of the thoughts that we're having as part of it. So again, welcome. With that, I'd like to just turn to you, Phillip, and ask you to start us out by giving some of your insights on what opening to the month of May means to you.
Sure. Yes, Jane. Well, a little historical information, which I think is always good in a topical a subject like this. The word May and the season of May.
Interesting. Yeah.
So May is connected with the Roman and Greek gods Maya, which had to do with growth and plants. So that's very timely. And that also has to do with nurturing and earth goddess energy. So it's very spring-like too, kind of a midwife. It comes in as well. And there's also the word may, like you may do things. And the origin of that comes from Old English and Germanic roots, to be able to be strong and to have power. So this is a very strengthening time. There's lots of energy in the air, of course, with spring and May, and then April showers bring May flowers. So where we are in the West Coast, California, there's a lot of flowers because of all the rain this season for us, which we needed.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's an abundant wildflower season for us, which is really wonderful. And I think what you said about Earth Goddess energy also is really beautiful. A couple of weeks ago, the last circle we did before we had a kind of a hiatus last week, we were on vacation. We talked about the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And it is a time to draw on that divine feminine energy within us, which has the dream. It has the vision for us. And then open to the masculine, bringing it to fruition. I also want to say hi to Babs. Babs is here.
Hey, hi, Babs.
Wonderful to see you. Yeah, it's a great month of action. And I think also an opportunity, looking at the divine feminine, open to our deeper purpose, maybe in a way we never have before, looking at things being more magical, more mystical, more creative, more powerful in a true, genuine internal power way than we ever have before. So we can open to, I think, maybe more of our true selves, more of that being who is really us, that we sometimes don't invite in because we're thinking that we have to somehow fit into society, which has its limits, obviously.
And we can access that deep generative energy. And since we're focusing on seasons, in the previous seasons and time of year, especially winter, we're coming out of, it was more of a reflection of the past. And now we're reflecting more on the future and that vision and what's deeper in our hearts and our being and what we can imagine. So we want to bring in the present, the future, to bring it in this wonderful dream of all that's possible, and to overcome the hardship and struggles and multi-crises that we're facing. And that dream is what can guide us. That's our true north. And if we go south, we can use that too, to learn from and grow.
Yeah, yeah. And if we look at what we're here for in the circle, we're here really to bring more of ourselves here and more of the love that we hold here, to benefit the planet and to benefit humanity. So we have a dual opportunity really to benefit ourselves and to benefit the world. Yeah, it's a really exciting time. Seems like in winter you're kind of waiting, like now when's something going to happen, and here it is.
Right here.
Yeah.
I think I'll bring in White Eagle, one of the masters. We're going to be channeling other masters, but this is from my meditation, communing this morning with him on this subject about May.
That's a beautiful card.
Yes, it is a beautiful card. White Eagle, one of the ascended masters with the Indian energy, shamanism, and the Great Spirit, and Mother Earth. So he said or communed, May is a time when spring comes in and the sleeping plants and animals come more alive. It's thus a time of mating and reproduction. So this was the interesting turn coming up I'm about to read. We want to take that energy also to use it in ourselves. And he said, in your heart, you can reproduce what is best for you and others. So instead of reproducing like external children, we can reproduce wonderful things from our heart and our being, kind of going back to what we were just saying. So go deep within, he advised, go deep within your heart and feel the joy and love, and spread and multiply that out to others. Use your time wisely, as we know you do. Each moment is precious and sacred. Use it as such. Although you cannot be aware of every single moment, you have a sense that your life as a whole is sacred and part of a creative generation from source. Plant the seeds now, which will bear fruit in the summer. What you do today will have its outcome tomorrow.
Wow, that's beautiful. Was that your channeling?
That was my channeling from White Eagle this morning.
That's beautiful.
The
really
card
beautiful.
from Keepers of the Light, Kyle Gray.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And it is interesting if we've been exploring more of the elemental kingdom and how everything is connected, everywhere, everyone and everything. And this is an opportunity really to understand how true it is that we're not alone. We have angels, archangels, ascended masters. We have beautiful elemental beings, nature spirits who command whole whole planets, whole you could say forests, rivers, everything has nature spirits connected to it, so we can enlist all of those different energies to support us.
They're all around us.
Yeah. Yesterday Philip and I did a little process to create more of a sacred space in our yard. We have a small yard here, but it is really beautiful, and I have a window over here that overlooks the front area where there's a beautiful birch tree. And we connected with the birch tree and all of the beings, live beings who are around us there. It was really beautiful and meaningful. And there's just so much that is possible for us if we reach more deeply into ourselves and into all of the resources that are around us. I think we can be amazed by what might be possible for us.
We all have bouts of loneliness, but when we're alone, we don't have to be lonely. And if you open your eyes and your heart, there's a lot there on many levels. And
Right.
when we're lonely, we've really sort of shut down and just focused on the negative and what's the lacking and the problems, and thinking that's all there is. And those problems are there to point the way to something greater and something to heal and grow and create from.
No, and it's interesting. Speaking of being alone, it within that process of experiencing being alone. Not that we have to be alone for long periods of time, but like Philip doing his meditation this morning, doing those things that we do for ourselves internally. It is really, that's where more of who we are emerges, is when we're in those moments of being with ourselves. So are we ready to start the oracle reading?
We are.
All kinds of beings around us. I'm just going to draw a card from the major arcana of the Angel Wisdom Tarot from Radley Valentine. This will give us a focus. We can say a focus for the spring, and also each of the major arcana cards has an archangel associated with it. And it's interesting. The card that I got is the Hermit. I think we've had this one before, which is really about having that alone time.
Speaking of being alone and lonely and reflecting.
But it's interesting. It says time spent in peaceful meditation and meaningful solitude. Shine your light as an example for others. Seek out or become a spiritual mentor. Self-discovery. And the archangel who comes with this one is Archangel Raziel, who is the magician of the angelic realms. And anyone who knows me knows I'm very partial to Archangel Raziel, because he's also one of the most joyful archangels. And this is the card which I showed a little bit before. Beautiful bright light shining from his center. So we can invite Archangel Raziel to join us along with White Eagle, and just open to that magic. What kind of magic is possible for you that you never imagined before? If you could truly enlist magic, what might be possible? And just notice, if you ask yourself that question, what comes to mind? And one thing that comes to mind for me is we can make a bigger difference than we thought. And I think we are making a bigger difference than we generally realize. What were you going to say, Philip?
Well, the Hermit card is going within in quiet reflection, which is interesting.
Right.
It's sort of a contrast with the expressive May, planting, bursting, reproductive energies of May. But what it strikes me is that you want to do that in a thoughtful, intentional way. So what you're creating is something you want. You want to be aware of what you're creating, and be open to and enlisting the masters and the elementals and different beings on different levels from your quiet solitude.
Right.
In this show, it will help you, give you some guidelines and some experience for that.
Right. And if you look at the divine feminine, enlisting that divine feminine is a creative internal process. I want to read a little more about the card here too, because it may not be exactly what we think either. It says, Archangel Raziel waits for you at the top of the world. We can do that in our meditation. I didn't plan anything for the meditation because I thought it's going to emerge, which it is now. He holds a magic lantern to guide you to this place of spiritual awareness. People naturally assume that the hermit is alone. Well, surprise, he's not. He's the great spiritual mentor at the top of the mountain, holding up a light for other seekers below. This card can indicate the need to either find a mentor or become a mentor. Which place are you in your life? Are you seeking a teacher or are you ready to teach? Of course, this card can indicate being alone, but it's more of a spiritual solitude that you choose for yourself. It's a desire to go inward and revisit some of the insights you discovered with the High Priestess, which is the Divine Feminine, interestingly. The card can also indicate the need for you to shine your light for others to see.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a lot here, and I think it really lines up. Additional meanings, it says self-discovery, pondering the mysteries of life. What do you think, Bud? Buddy joined us to ponder the mysteries of life. Yeah, beautiful. I love this card. So did you want to draw a second card?
Right. We were going to do a second card pairing.
Yeah, we often draw one. You could call it a significator. It's one to even go deeper. I think we're getting a pretty clear message. We'll see what this does. Yeah.
This is from the Elementals Oracle by Stacy DeMarco. Just so people know, the elementals are the elements, the fire, the water, the earth, the air, and they're beings who govern those energies, just like there are different levels of higher ascended beings, masters. There's different levels and different kingdoms. Mm-hmm. They're all coexisting, which we are more or usually less aware of. And just because we're not aware of it, just because we can't see infrared light or ultraviolet light, it doesn't mean it's not there.
Right.
Okay, so let's see what the card is from this Elemental Oracle deck and see where that's going to take us with the Hermit, which is a card I often draw when I do the tarot too.
Yeah, it seems like we've gotten it quite a few times recently.
Okay, the card is Inner Core. Well, that's
interesting.
Inner Core sounds very attuned to what we've been talking about. Let me read what the Inner Core is. Take me a moment to find it.
Mm-hmm. The number is on the card, the page number.
Oh, okay.
Is that, or the number of it, which number it is, so you can find it easily.
The subtitle is Solidity. I'm having a problem finding it, so it's going to take me.
Well, I could get mine out.
This is a newer deck for us, so I'm a little unfamiliar with it.
The number of, there should be a number on the card. What's the number on the top of the card? Oh, it's on page 46.
Yeah, I don't see the number. Okay, 46.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what it says about the inner core. Solidity. Stay constant in your endeavors. Do not stop your progress. Seek those who are reliable and solid. Keep your promises. The greatest power is from inside out. The center of the earth, the inner core, is spherical. It is surrounded by the outer core, the mantle, and the crust. The inner core is supposedly made up of iron-nickel alloy, but there are no samples of the inner core to test it. Almost all direct measurements we have about the physical properties of our inner core are deducted through the seismic waves that pass through it. The core is superheated and is about the same temperature as the surface of the sun. Wow. Unlike the outer core, the center of the earth is solid rather than fluid. Interestingly, the core isn't perfectly spherical, and the gravity of the center is about half what it is in the surface of the Earth. There's still scientific debate about how the core was formed, but it's believed to have originally been liquid that cooled to form the solid mass. The solidity gives stability to the Earth, and while not magnetic itself, because of the heat it throws out, it does affect the magnetics of the outer core. We live in a fast-paced world with many distractions. Developing a sense of solidness and reliability is important. We often do not honor the promises we make to ourselves, and yet we honor our promises and commitments to others. We need to be able to rely on our own word to ourselves, and that's the inner core with the hermit.
Earth element, which is, I think, May. May is the. I'm a Taurus. I was born in May. Is the. That's an Earth element. Taurus is an earthy sign, and it is. Well, it is bringing spirit into form. And the inner core is often described spiritually as the crystalline core of the earth, which may be more, I don't know if it's more metaphorical, but it is a beautiful idea that we want to connect the wealth of spirit that comes down to us from above and just allow that energy to flow all the way down to the central core of the earth and back. That creates that balance, that balance of ourselves between heaven and earth, which is really beautiful. It is a really pretty looking card too, from what I could tell here. Shows everything growing up from the
from that
center.
inner solidity. And that's kind of a
right.
nice thing about finding that solid part within that loving core of oneself with the hermit for stability. And going from using our imagination from that solid place.
Right. And it's a good reminder not to just go flying off, kind of
flying off the handle.
Right. Well, we talk about that balance. We want to have be in that perfect balance between heaven and earth. I'm still looking. I wanted to see the full size card because it looks so beautiful in the book, but it's not revealing itself very easily. What are you doing?
The inner core card?
Yeah, I have my deck here. I just wanted to, here it is. Yeah, that's beautiful. There's a dove in the middle too.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's interesting. It's kind of a heart shape too, that formed from it looks like hands almost reaching in. It's interesting when you go into all of the symbolism within the cards, you can derive so much from them too. This is really beautiful.
And that's a symbol of peace, which would be part of our imagination of seeing a more peaceful world. Feeling a more peaceful world.
Beautiful. And also it does have there's a female face on one side and a male face on the other. Masculine and feminine.
Well, shall we do a meditation?
Yeah, let's do the meditation. So what seemed appropriate with Raziel is just to go to the top of the world.
Yeah, let's go back to the top of the world. Figure it out from there.
Right. Well, we're up in the higher reaches, and also we want to remember to be fully connected also to the earth. It is a beautiful balance that we're striving for as we open to creating something special this year.
The oracles help us tell a wonderful story here using our intuition.
Yeah, beautiful. Oh, I see Sharon. Sharon said hello. Sharon Williamson is here. Hi. Good to see you too. So we're going to start as usual. Hopefully you're in a place where it's safe to close your eyes. And we're going to just begin again, breathing in love and light from the universe around us, all of the beautiful beings who are supporting us from above. Again, bringing in more love and light into any areas maybe that feel tense Any areas that needed it, particularly in your body or around yourself? That ball of light around you that is your energy field. And also, as we do this, ask any energy that is not your own. We pick up energy from other people, other places, other times. Just send it back where it came from, lovingly. This creates more space for that love to enter and more space of your own beingness to be present. Similarly, bringing any of the energy of ourselves that we've left in other times, other places, with other people, just bringing that back with your intention, bring that back into your field. And as you do that, you might notice that you feel more present in your body in the moment, with that beautiful connection to the center of the earth, the crystalline core, all the way up to source above us. So the next thing we're going to do is travel up, up that, you could say, column of light to the metaphorical top of the world, breathing in lighter energy as we go. And again, releasing, as we rise, releasing anything heavy back down to the earth where it can be neutralized and transformed back into light. And inviting Archangel Raziel again to join us. Until we reach that place, that metaphorical place at the top of the world. And I envision it as a place where we're outside of the mass consciousness thought forms, a place where we can feel completely free and empowered in that inner way that we were talking about earlier briefly, just opening to that inner strength that we have, the strength of our spirit. We can invite more of that light from above down into our bodies and around us, just bringing more of that higher self energy within us, bringing more of that in so that we can bless the world with it. And in this place, Raziel is often recognized as a rainbow of light. I like to imagine sparkles of all the colors. You could imagine it in whatever way works for you, the rainbow colors, inviting them into that space within you and around you. Inviting his love and his magic and miracles into all of the cells of your body, opening to the creator you are at this time in the month of May, as we fully embrace that potential that we have. It's like the seed has sprouted, the flowers are emerging, and the flowers that are us, the blossoms who we are, those blossoms are emerging now and blossoming. And notice as you do that, is there anything that you want to to let go of that might be holding you back or holding you down? Is there anything more you want to receive, more light from that divine feminine source, more light from the masculine who has the will to follow through? More light from source. We are so loved. And I think, to me, when we remember that, it's encouraging because we are loved because we are valuable, each one of us. Philip, do you have any insights you would want to share?
Just that from our heart we can send out seeds of love and hope and peace and creativity that will blossom in the coming months and the seasons as we generate these wonderful seeds of higher awareness and energies that will come to fruition in the near future, or maybe later on still.
Right, just opening to what might be possible. Maybe something that has never occurred to you before. I'm just feeling the peacefulness of being in this place where you're not hindered by all of the thought forms that often are kind of
Interfering.
right, attacking us. It feels like an attack sometimes. We can come to this place, or whatever that place of peace is for you, to remember. And the point of power is in the heart, in the moment, in the heart. Raziel says that as we are blessed by them, they, meaning all of the beings of light who are supporting us in our growth here, they are blessed by us and inspired by us. So they thank us as we thank them for the co-creation that is emerging as we open fully to the divine. Because we don't have to do this alone. The hermit, he isn't alone. The hermit is at the top of the world. And from this place, you can see all the stars above you shining down so beautifully, a kind of cosmic light. It comes from even beyond this world. We're fed from that too. So you can just take it all in. Any other thoughts, Philip? Insights?
Just that from the quietness of the hermit, we know we're connected with everything. So it's sort of a paradox that the hermit is very quiet and to him or herself, but is actually in that quiet space connected with everything.
Right. It feels so peaceful to me. I think just that idea of being outside of all of the thought forms, kind of in that place of freedom for even a little while. It's just very peaceful. Okay, so this is an opportunity to see if Raziel or any of the beings who are working with you have another message for you before we return. And then just gradually, again, we can thank Raziel, we can thank all of the beings who have been with us today, and start to drift back down to earth. Being aware now of your space wherever you're sitting, and that connection all the way down to the core of the earth. And as I do that, when I ground myself after a meditation like this, I also send love to Gaia, and Gaia sends love back. Feeling that love that is always there for us, also from the earth, from heaven and from earth. Breathing in more active energy, bringing you back into your normal waking state. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Buddy gave me a little kiss. He said, I like that meditation.
Worked for me.
Oh, me too. I feel so peaceful. It is wonderful because we also are encouraged, I think, in the way things are here in mass consciousness land. We're encouraged always to move faster, do more. And it's not always about doing more and moving faster. In fact, it probably is not about moving faster and doing more. There's Nikki. Hi, Nikki. I see you. Thank you for joining. So this is also the time when we take this light. Where did I put my, here's my planet in my drawer, where we can share this love and light with the world. I'd like to just imagine surrounding it with love. This is also a time when you can send the love that you're holding to others. You may know some others who are in need of love right now. Sending it to your community that surely needs love. They all do. And to the places in the world where there are hardships. We just sense, helping the people of the world to understand that all of us are loved. We can all receive it. Any thoughts on that, Philip?
Just that sounds like a good idea.
Right. So that feels pretty complete to me. How about you?
Yes.
Okay, so it's been wonderful being with you all, and we'll look forward to seeing where the where the journey takes us as May unfolds for all of us. So have a wonderful week. Oh, before we do that, Philip, you want to share a little bit about what's happening at Awakenings Institute?
Well, people may want to get our spiritual healer lightworker free kit for spiritual healing, videos, resources, a special checklist for coaching and healing. And that's at tinyurl.com/spiritual-kit for your free spiritual healer lightworker kit, tinyurl.com/spiritual-kit.
Wonderful. And if you want to support the circle, you can follow our page if you're on Facebook. We appreciate that. You can share the video for this week and each week with your friends on Facebook. And you can invite your friends to join you in the circle. And then you have something maybe to discuss afterwards too. The final thing that we usually do is sending all that love and light out into the week ahead. You can send it as far as you want. Also, you can fill your past with it, sending love to your past all around. And have a wonderful week. We look forward to being back with you next time. Bye-bye.